Ladies, 1 month your period is so heavy you're scared to leave the house. The next month, barely anything happens. You might get random spotting out of nowhere, and you're like, okay. You skip a month, you panic, then it comes back with a complete vengeance. And every single time you think, wait, is this normal? Is it me? Is this my hormones? Or should I be asking more questions? Yeah. Here's the part nobody tells you. This can be perimenopause. The years of hormone shifts before menopause. But most women have no idea that it is perimenopause, or it could be perimenopause. Okay. And a lot of people don't realize that it can start in your 30s. Yes, I said it, your 30s, okay? Or it can hit really late, okay? So it may hit early, it may hit late, and it looks completely different for every woman, okay? So you can't compare, and you can kind of talk, but you're like, well, that didn't happen to me, and I didn't feel that way, okay? There's no single playbook, which is exactly why so many women feel lost. Okay, so I want to talk about that today. I want to talk about how your cycle can fluctuate and change, and maybe some things that you can look to, and so that you can take it to your doctors and really discuss it. So if you're new here, I am Dee, aka Granola Revival. This is day 27 of 30 of a series that I've called Showing Up Before I'm Ready. But you're here for a special series in the midst of that will become a regular series called Stop Calling It Normal. Okay, this is week 5 episode 5 of Stop Calling It Normal, because I think I did 2 last week. We are highlighting things that women deal with all the time that maybe they think are normal, but they really aren't normal. They can be looked at a little bit further, because there may be other things that you need to look at. So let's talk about it. Oh, and by the way, I am a health educator. I'm a wellness coach. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician. I'm not a provider. I give education, not diagnosis. So today I'm going to talk to you from an educator lens, but not from a practitioner lens, because I have not gone to medical school. No, and I don't plan on it, okay? So, yeah, just take what I'm saying, take it for education purposes, and then, bring it to your physician if you feel like, some of the things that Dee said, might, they might be true for me. Take it to your physician, and then they can help you further, okay? So, let's start with it. I kind of started with, dang, all that's happening. Yes, heavy bleeding, skipped days, multiple cycles in 1 month, okay? Missing months, a flood, cramps that make you want to, cramps that just are excruciating, nauseating, that you feel like you can't get out of bed, you feel like you can't move, even migraines, okay, or just headaches and really severe lethargy, clots that scare you, clots that you're like, wait, did that just come out of my body? Yeah, those are some of the symptoms that can be happening for a woman. And like I said, this can start in your 30s, okay? Now, some of these symptoms may happen even for young girls, I'll be honest. Sometimes young women go through some of the same symptoms like teenagers, preteens, when they're starting their periods as well, because their bodies are still adjusting. So just keep that frame of reference. Right now, I'm more so talking about some of the symptoms that can happen as you're aging, as you're in your 30s and your 40s and maybe 50s, that especially in your 30s or 40s, that you're like, things do seem like they're changing, but it's just me. Or is it just you? But I will say some of these symptoms can happen to all women at all times. So even if it's happening to you and you don't quite fit the age group I'm talking about, I still want you to go see your doctor, because we just don't know. Something else may be going on, and it's worth a checkout. Okay. And here's the thing. Sometimes they'll be like, well, you're too young for perimenopause, or you're too young for this, or no. Don't take no for an answer. If you go see one practitioner and they tell you, oh, no, I don't think that's what it is, go see somebody else. Knock down the doors of the doctor's offices, okay? Until you get the answers that you need, because a lot of times the research, well, I will say the science and the research with like perimenopause and menopause is very wide, and I think it's because women's symptoms are so different. It's hard. It's hard for the science to really like predict and know, because we all have different bodies. Okay, we all react to things very differently. And that goes with so many other things as well, but especially when it comes to your cycles, your periods, okay? So just do keep that in mind. Go in there and advocate for yourself, but also keep in mind that like sometimes, depending on who you're going to, they don't know, because they're just going off of kind of maybe what they learned in school, which is very basic. But women's bodies and men's bodies, everybody's bodies, they're dynamic. They're very different. And so many things can cause the shifts in your cycles. Okay, so let's talk about that. Hormone changes, okay? PCOS, which is now called PMOS, okay? So if you didn't know, PCOS is now called PMOS. Medications, okay? Stress. Ladies, stress can change your period, and there's different kind of stressors. It could be a life stressor. It could even, like, you've heard of like really like full-time like hardcore athletes like losing their periods. That's actually not normal, and we want to look at that too, because you need, as much as you may not like your period, you need it, okay? You need it. Endometriosis is another symptom that a lot of women deal with, and they just don't know it. Polyps, thyroid issues, so many other things. Did I say fibroids? I don't know if I said fibroids. Fibroids is big. Okay. So yeah, those are so many symptoms and are contributors that could be causing your cycle to shift and change, or it could be that you're in perimenopause. I'm sorry, sis. I know. It could be that too. And really, perimenopause is hard to diagnose as well. Okay. But a lot of times if you're having these symptoms and they seem like you've been normal for been on a regular cycle for like 10, 20 years, and all of a sudden stuff starts going haywire, that's probably the sign that your body is going through perimenopause or something else. Okay. So I want you to look into this. Okay. And I also don't want you to get caught up in the age, because it can happen at young ages. It can happen at older ages. But we used to only hear oh, you're too young for that. That happens in your 50s. No. We're seeing now, because women are starting to speak up and say, hey, things are different. Things are painful. My body is shifting. This is not how it used to be. So that's what the point of this episode for Stop Calling It Normal is. Ask the questions. Yep, I said it with aggression. Ask the questions, okay? Because I care for you. I want to see you thrive. I don't want to see you in pain. I don't want to see you going through things that you don't need to go through, okay? So what you should start doing, if you haven't, and even if you're probably I don't really get that many bad symptoms or whatever the case may be, still track your cycles from month to month. See what's happening. There's so many apps out there. You don't have to pay for one. There's plenty of free ones. If you don't want an app, if you're I don't want to download another thing on my phone, put it in your notes or whatever, put it somewhere, document it somewhere, so that you know what is my start date of my period, what is my end date of my period, what are the symptoms on every day, what happens in between then. Even with ovulation, sometimes you can feel the ovulation pain, I forget, it's called menstruation, I believe. I might be saying that name that name wrong, but there is a name actually for those, and it's probably I believe in between 20 to 30% of women that feel pain during ovulation. You can actually feel something. Even notate that too, okay? All of it. How you're sleeping, your temperature. A lot of times temperatures rise, they fluctuate. Your sleep schedule, everything. Track it as much as you can, so that when you go to the physician, you can give them as much information, because they need that. And the more information that you can tell them, the better. And don't sometimes I know they're oh, that's nothing. No, advocate for yourself, okay? Really, really advocate for yourself. Because heavy bleeding, blood clots, a lot of pain, random symptoms, they don't have to be normal, and they may not be normal. Okay, and there may be some things that the doctors can do. There's some things that you just got to ride it out. potentially. But talk to your doctor, see what they say. Because remember, this is just for education purposes, not for diagnosis, okay? I am not your physician. I am not a physician. I'm a health coach and I educate. So, yes, let me know your thoughts. Let me know some of the things that you've been going through. If you feel comfortable, if you don't, that's okay. But also let me know, this is episode number 5 for Stop Calling It Normal. Let me know what I should talk about in future episodes. Like, I'm not afraid. Almost no topic is off limits to me because we've been silent for so long. There's been things that have not been passed down from generation to generation, especially when it comes to women. And so that's the point of this series, is like to shine the light on the things that have been taboo. We no longer are doing that taboo stuff. Oh, we don't talk about those things. We don't, oh, she going through that, all that. Yeah, all that. Okay. So yes, let me know what you would like to talk about, and I'll research it and we'll talk about it. We'll discuss it. Okay. Please like, comment, share, subscribe if you're not subscribed to my channel, so that you can get more content like this. This is Stop Calling It Normal. I'll probably at least once a week have an episode. Maybe every once in a while I'll have 2 episodes a week for Stop Calling It Normal, because I think it's so important. And I'm trying to do my part as a health educator, as a wellness coach, as a health coach, to really educate. Like I said, educate. Okay, I'm not diagnosing anything. I don't know that part, but I do know that there's some things that we've put up with that we don't have to put up with, especially as women. If you're in pain, if you're frustrated, if you're unsure, go see your provider. Okay, so yes, thank you for tuning in. This is also, like I said, a part of a bigger 30-day series. So tomorrow is day 28. My gosh, I got a couple more days, y'all. A couple more days in this posting every single day for 30 days without editing. So I know there was some stuff at the beginning of this video where I was like totally like lost for words. It's staying in, because life is not perfect. No one is perfect. And I'm tired of the perfection of like the internet. Okay. So you're going to get me at the real. You're going to get me at the raw. I may pause. I may, and it is what it is. So see you tomorrow, or see you next week for the next Stop Calling It Normal. Let me know what you want for episode 6. Okay. Of Stop Calling It Normal. Go see your doctor and share this. If you're a man, share this with your family or friends, or just know that women struggle sometimes, okay? And they can't articulate it. And they mean well, but they may be there might be a little fire. A little dragon may come out every so often. So anyways, let me get off of here. This episode's too long. Love y'all. I'll see you later. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay? Share.